You may eat like 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock, or 8 o'clock in the morning, and have a place like a table where you eat. Don't let your children just run around and eat wherever. Some young parents, they let their children do that. They just let them run around and just give them a sandwich when they eat somewhere. What can happen if they just run around like that? They can choke, eating the serving size and without fried, without the fat, a lot of saturated fat, and also less sugar and less salt.
Helps to prevent cancer, cardiovascular disease, diabetes. And if you have diabetes, it is fine to consume blue corn because you do not digest the blue corn in the same way that you digest, pardon me, the yellow and the white, okay? So the sugar in the blood doesn't go up as high. Eating beans may help prevent colon cancer. It has a tremendous amount of fiber. Native Americans had it going on long before the science came behind it. Please don't stop eating your beans. So you have a kernel of wheat, right? So there's a germ, that's where the vitamin E is, right? Okay? And then you have the starch, that's the white flour that we get. And on the outside is the bran, that's the fiber. I just gave you a quick anatomy, right? So we strip the germ out, we strip off the bran. Why? Because white flour can sit on the shelf for many years. Because the germ will go rancid because it's oil. And the bran will also go rancid, okay? So then we have this white stuff that just sits on the shelf. It has no nutrition for us. You feed the mice white bread, they will die. You feed them wheat bread, they will thrive. Because the wheat kernel is like your bean. Lots of nutrition. We mix beans and blue corn together. And guess what? We make the equivalent of meat, of chicken, fish, or beef, okay? That's what we make the equivalent of. Neural tube defects. Anencephaly, born without a brain or partial brain. Spina bifida, right? We don't have complete closure back here, right? And then we have neurological problems. We can't walk or go to the bathroom. The child suffers tremendously, right? So why is this? Because in the United States of America, we do not consume enough fruits and vegetables.
And I noticed that working with kids, certain area I noticed and there's certain areas, especially like Torium, Ohoncino, Counselor, Naive, Hofner kids that I work with. The kids that I work with are not really heavy set. They're thin. These kids still chop woods. The small fetus is already making insulin to help the mother's body digest that glucose.
A lot of kids like to play outside. Don't chase them inside and tell them to sit still. Let them play. They need it. It's good for their brain, their heart, their muscles, their body weight. Okay, release that. Now you can get both hands. You're going to pull it up. Just like how the picture is. So your palms will be facing up. And you're going to push like you're pushing. You're going to push at the ceiling.
Come on up. Don't be shy. There's plenty. We have no shortage today. Thank you. Looks good, Peggy. Thank you. Yeah, Lynn and I, with the help of Navajo sisters.
What did you put in it? What is it?
This is blue cornbread, and it has blue corn meal, the finer one, not the mush one, right? I just learned that recently. And then some eggs, a little bit of sugar, a little bit of butter or vegetable oil, or you can do a little vegetable oil and a little butter, right? Like that, like grandma cooks, right? A little bit of this, a little bit of that, and then it has the jalapenos that were already a little sautéed, and then baking powder.
We're going to do today is the water bath, and we're just going to show you how it's done, where you can do it at home. Examine top and edge of your jars to see that there are no nicks or cracks or sharp, which is this. Okay, these are your canning jars. Okay, and they come in cases. auto, there's lids that come with it in the cases. And these are the lids, and these are the round edge of the lid.
When you hot water bathe them, the water is going to suck out all the oxygen out of the bottle. And then it's going to heat up that rubber. That rubber is going to heat up and it's going to turn into glue, or glue resin. So once all that air is sucked out of the jar, then that seal is going to go on there and it's going to seal it off.
You just have to keep an eye on it until the water starts to boil, and then you start putting your timer at 10 minutes. And once that's done, once the timer is done and you're finished, you take them out. You take them out with the hot, there's the tool right there underneath there that you use to pull out your glass out with. And then you put them on, like even if you have one of those cloths, you lay it out, you lay them on there. You just stand them up. And then you label when it was made. So once the label's on there, you know it's good for 1 year. And always wash your veggies, okay, when you buy them from the store, because we don't know where it's all coming from. And they use a lot of pesticides and all that to make sure that the growers are, you know, maintaining their big fields. So if you're purchasing chili, make sure they're washed. As you grow your own garden and you have a small plot of chili you're planting, you know that you maintain and they're coming out as organic. We really believe in organic planting. 3 cups of each. We have 3 cups of tomatoes. We got 3 cups of jalapenos, 3/4 cup of onion chopped, and then salt is optional. So we don't see salt here, so we're not going to add salt. This is how it looks now when you mix it all together, okay? So now we're going to put them in the jars.
And that's where this one comes in.
Yeah.
This, it's a little guider for you.
So let chili up right now. So even it out. So this is how you do it. On the jars right in here, what you want is to fill it to this rim right in here. You still want a 1/2 inch space on top so that it will have a chance for the water and all that. Because when you pull the air out of it, it's going to expand just a bit. So Then see how that one is with the liquid in it, and
it's right at the at least 1/2 inch head space. You don't want it to overflow on you.
so this is 1 cup. It's asking 1.5 cups.
Like Wanda says, you put it on the scale or the little grill, and then you put it down, submerge it into the water, and then, like I said, the water will be above the jars at least about an inch to inch and a half. As long as it's covered. And then once it starts to boil, you put the lid on. Once it starts to boil in there, the consistent boiling, you put your timer, like I said, it's recommended all the way to 28 minutes for Crownpoint area. Anything below 6,000 feet, Shiprock or Tuba City, below 6,000 feet, it's going to be only for about 22 minutes. But for us, being in the high desert, we're going to be about 25 to 30 minutes right in here. So once it starts boiling, after it's finished and your alarm goes off, go ahead, turn off the fire. Just let it cool down in there. After it stops boiling, take it out. Set it, your grill on the side. Use your, this one, I don't know what it's called jar grabber. Use this one.
Your grabber tool.
Grabber tool. This coin. So you put it like that, and then, you know, like Wanda said, put it on
A cloth.
cloth because the water is going to be coming off of it. So this recipe, as you've seen, it only covers 3 jars, and you can try that at home. Other than that, thank you.